The movie starts by showing Gangneung City being controlled by the mafia, led by Chief O. He's in charge of everything, and he's helped by his close friend Kim Gil-sok, who looks after the industrial part of the city. One day, Gil-sok goes to see Choi Musang, someone he thinks of like a big brother in the mafia. Musang is a big shot in Gangneung City, especially in the market area. Gil-sok greets Musang, who's busy playing games in the market he's in charge of. Later on, Gil-sok gathers his buddies because one of them is getting married soon. But then, his friend Hyung-gun tells him there's a problem. Some of their gang members got caught using drugs. Thankfully, Gil-sok knows a police leader named Byung-chun, so they can fix the problem fast. After meeting the police, Gil-sok talks to the gang members involved in the drug issue. But guess what? Turns out, the person caught isn't one of his guys. It's actually Lee Chong-sop, a mafia member trusted by Oh to manage gambling and nightclubs in the city. Because of what happened, Gil-sok, Musang, and Chong-sop got together at a tavern to talk about what Chong-sop did. He had let his team use and sell drugs in their territory. During the conversation, Gil-sok reminded Chong-sop that they all had agreed not to have anything to do with illegal drugs in the areas they controlled. While they were chatting about this, Oh arrived and got mad at all three of them. He asked Musang, who was the oldest, to look out for his younger buddies. He told Gil-sok to stop blaming Chong-sop and instead help find ways to prevent him from making the same mistake again. Up on a rooftop of a building, there's a guy named Lee Min-sok. He works as a head of a loan shark and is responsible for cleaning up his boss's dirty deeds. He's sitting there, thinking about his plan to take down his boss. Min-sok's had enough of being under Bang Hyun's orders all the time. With a lot of determination, he goes to the main office to talk to Bang Hyun. He asks for a better job and more money, especially since he's been doing Bang Hyun's missions successfully. But Bang Hyun doesn't really pay attention to Min-sok's request. Suddenly, Min-sok attacks Bang Hyun, stabbing him in the chest. When the police arrive at the murder scene, they're shocked to find Bang Hyun and his crew all dead. There's also a young guy there, who's been made to look like he's the one who did it. In truth, Min-sok forced the young man to take the blame because he owed a lot of money to Min-sok. The young guy had no choice but to go along with it to pay off his debt. At the Arsa resort, Oh calls for Gil-sok to have a personal chat. Gil-sok wonders why Oh is giving him control over a part of the resort when it's technically under Chong-sop's authority. Oh explains that he trusts Gil-sok's discipline more than Chong-sop's, so Gil-sok reluctantly accepts the responsibility from his gang leader. A few days later, Gil-sok starts setting things up at the resort, and then Min-sok arrives unexpectedly. Gil-sok meets him right away, knowing that Min-sok is a troublemaker in different places. Min-sok's there to talk about a drug deal, wanting his guys to be able to sell in Oh's territory. Gil-sok firmly says no to Min-sok's request. An irritated Min-sok stubs his cigarette into the soup on the table and leaves in a huff. Meanwhile, Gil-sok just chuckles at the behavior of the gangster leader. The other day, Gil-sok and Musang were at one of their subordinates' weddings. Suddenly, Chong-sop showed up and expressed his disagreement with Oh's decision to give Gil-sok control over the resort. Gil-sok tried to calm Chong-sop down, but they ended up arguing. Thankfully, the bride-to-be got upset at the scene and Chong-sop, feeling responsible for the disruption, chose to leave the wedding. Later that evening, Chong-sop talked to Musang, hoping to get him on board with opposing Oh's decision to let Gil-sok handle the Arsa resort. However, Musang wasn't too bothered by it. He was content with his role as the ruler of the market area. In the meantime, Min-sok is in a hotel room with a woman named Eun-son who owes him money. He tells her that the money she's been giving only covers the interest on her debt. Her actual debt remains unpaid, so she has to do whatever he asks if she wants to clear her debt. On another day, Min-sok takes Eun-son to meet Oh, who's busy looking after his dried chili. Oh sees Min-sok and asks why the gangster has come to his place. Min-sok casually says he just wanted to visit the village and offers to help Oh move the sun-dried hot peppers from the yard. He also asks about the idea of killing others, and Oh casually responds that there's no need to resort to killing to achieve their goals. He suggests that gaining people's trust is the way to go. Before Oh can finish talking, Min-sok swiftly attacks Oh, blaming Eun-seon for the murder to clear her debt. Heading to the hospital, Gil-sok rushes to see Oh, but it's too late. Oh couldn't survive his severe injuries. Finding out that someone killed Oh, Gil-sok heads to the police station to confront the person who took down the head of his gang. He asks Eun-seon why she did it, but she remains silent, frustrating Gil-sok. He gets so angry that he's about to get physical, but a police officer steps in to prevent him. During Oh's funeral, all the mafia members gathered to pay their respects. After the ceremony, Chong-sop, Gil-sok, and Moo-sang discussed their plan for revenge. They had learned that the woman who got arrested owed a lot of money to Min-sok, making it likely that Min-sok was the actual murderer of Oh. Chong-sop and Moo-sang decided to team up with Byung-chun to set a trap for Min-sok. The plan was to catch him on charges of dealing illegal drugs. Byung-chun's team began keeping an eye on Min-sok's associates and waited for the right moment to arrest them after they engaged in illegal drug transactions. Concurrently, Min-sok is sitting calmly in his office, seemingly aware of the arrest plan. Out on the street, the police are seen chasing Min-sok's targeted associates. However, once caught, Byung-chun's team is disappointed because the transaction was a sham. No actual drugs are found in Min-sok's associate's bag. Instead, it only holds tea and coffee. Back at the headquarters, Chong-sop and Moo-sang learn that the police failed to capture Min-sok. Fueled by anger, they decide to personally confront and kill Min-sok. Chong-sop invites Moo-sang to join him, aiming to avenge Oh's death together. However, in a surprising twist, Moo-sang and his men turn on Chong-sop's group, attacking them instead. In a different vein, Gil-sok is unwinding in a tavern when he gets an unexpected call from Chong-sop. Chong-sop is dying and expresses regret for always being disrespectful to Gil-sok. He realizes that he has caused trouble for Gil-sok many times. Before Chong-sop can finish speaking, Moo-sang steps in and ends Chong-sop's life abruptly. Gil-sok is left bewildered by the sudden turn of events involving Chong-sop. Shortly after, one of Moo-sang's allies named Jung-mo arrives, aiming to kill Gil-sok. Thankfully, Gil-sok survives a knife attack, but he's injured. The sound of a police siren causes Jung-mo to flee the tavern. 3 months later, outside the police station, Min-sok and his crew are seen visiting several individuals who were once falsely accused of the murders Min-sok committed. Byung-chun arrives and praises Min-sok for successfully eliminating members of the Gangneung Mafia. He asks Min-sok how he managed to influence Moo-sang to betray his own gang. Min-sok casually responds that he simply raised some questions about Oh's decision to give the resort to Gil-sok. On the other hand, following the attack he endured, Gil-sok left town and only returned to Gangneung after he recovered from his injuries. Currently, Gil-sok isn't afraid to take down anyone who has harmed his gang members. Before seeking revenge, Gil-sok visits the graves of Oh and Chong-sop. Later on, at the art museum, Gil-sok talks to Byung-chun and reveals his plan to take down Min-sok. However, Byung-chun questions Gil-sok's intentions, especially since Min-sok has been cleared of any charges. Gil-sok doesn't really care about that because he's made up his mind to do what he believes needs to be done. He won't rely on the police anymore, as he sees them as unreliable for letting Min-sok roam freely in the city. On another occasion, Gil-sok meets with Chairman Shin, one of the major shareholders of a resort in Gangneung City. Gil-sok seeks Shin's help to get rid of Min-sok. He knows that Shin has a grudge against Min-sok for betraying and killing Shin's boss. Unfortunately, Shin is hesitant to take the risk because Min-sok is currently a powerful figure with significant business holdings in Gangneung City. In an effort to persuade Shin, Gil-sok offers his own shares as payment if Shin is willing to help. This catches Shin's attention, as he's aiming to become the largest shareholder in the Gangneung area. With this incentive, Shin finally agrees to Gil-sok's proposition. After meeting with Shin, Gil-sok also talks to Moo-sang, confronting him about why he betrayed their loyalty as fellow mafia members. Moo-sang explains that he felt he was never properly rewarded by Oh. He was given only a small area to control, while Gil-sok received the grand resort. Gilsok tries to clarify that he never saw the resort as his own and asks Musang for an apology. However, Musang remains unapologetic. Suddenly, Jungmo, who is present, fatally stabs Musang. At the same time, Byung-chun and his team arrive to apprehend Min-sok on charges of drug trafficking and manipulating others into committing murder. Min-sok denies the allegations, especially since the police lack strong evidence. Nevertheless, he's taken to the police station for further questioning. In another corner of the scene, Shin seems to give the order to his men to eliminate both Min-sok and Gilsok simultaneously. His ambition is to have complete control over the resort. Unbeknownst to him, a group of Gilsok's associates tail them and take down Shin and his men. On the other side, Gilsok sends his trusted ally to eliminate Shin. He's learned of Shin's plan to betray and kill him after dealing with Min-sok. Later on, a police car carrying Min-sok is intercepted by Gilsok and his group. Byung-chun steps out and warns Gilsok that his actions could lead to legal trouble. Byung-chun decides to safeguard Gilsok by ensuring Min-sok is taken to the police station. As Byung-chun explains his plan, Gilsok comprehends the police chief's intention and allows him to proceed. However, shortly after the police car starts moving, Min-sok launches a sudden attack on all the officers inside the car. The attack causes the car to overturn. Injured from the crash, Min-sok crawls out of the wreckage and readies himself to confront Gilsok. Acting on impulse, Min-sok launches a blind attack on all of Gilsok's men, taking them down one by one. Meanwhile, Gilsok appears to observe the onslaught, standing by. Eventually, Gilsok steps in and directly faces Min-sok, defeating him despite the havoc he caused. Min-sok, near death, admits that both he and Gilsok are ruthless killers. Gilsok, unfazed by the confession, swiftly ends Min-sok's life. Byung-chun, who survived the earlier incident, questions Gilsok about whether he feels any remorse for killing so many people. Gilsok responds by saying that he feels as though he died a long time ago, especially after losing his fellow mafia members. In the final scene of the movie, Gilsok goes to the Arsa resort by himself. He sits on the balcony, taking in the sunrise and appreciating the beauty around him. The moral of the story is when in doubt, don't use coffee as evidence. It's best for mornings, not mysteries.